So it turns out I'm a complete idiot. The purse clasp that I added to my little coin purse at the weekend is this lovely little stitched one, and I got it in a kit to make the coin purse. And I bought a load of coin purse clasps from a charity shop at the weekend, but it turns out the majority of them are actually these glue-in type, not the sewing ones. So there were a couple of sewing ones, but they weren't the size that I was thinking of using. So what I'm going to have to do now is add the glue-in clasp to the top of this little purse and hope that works. Now I have seen a tutorial online, so I'm going to link that below, but this is basically what you will need if you have a glue-in purse clasp like this. Obviously your sewn purse that you've already done and your clasp. You'll need some pliers, some paper string, some paper twine, a chopstick, or in my case I'm using these little skewers that I have and I use for crafting. We're also going to need some tacky glue, maybe fabric glue would be good. I've got this fast tack. I don't think I've ever used it actually, so I don't know, maybe I have, I'll check. No, top's still intact. So I'm going to use that, and I'm going to get a little container to pour it into. We're going to use these little sticks to push it into the groove, and also something like some wadding or fabric just to protect the clasp when we're pinching it in place. And also I need a flat tool, like a flat screwdriver or something like that, but I'm thinking I might just use this as sort of a pokey tool instead, because I forgot to get my screwdriver from the craft room and I'm now downstairs. So let's get started. So we're at my rather messy blue desk, and this is where I'm going to be doing it. Just to let you know, these templates are going to be available on my website, and I'll link those below. And I would say that these are best used with the perhaps 3.5 inch clasps, purse clasps. Now this one's actually slightly smaller. It's like 3.25 inches, I think, but I think it's still going to work. So we're going to give it a go anyway. And I have some other templates going up as well. So if you like to do applique, then you could use these, or maybe even trace on them and then colour them in, or just print them off and print them onto fabric, and you could use them like that. Right then, so what we need to do is pop some of the glue. Let's go a little bit close. I'm so sorry, my desk is so messy. We're going to put some of the glue into a pot. Let's use a slightly smaller pot. So this is the fast drying fast tack glue, and apparently it's very sticky. It's good for paper, wood, trimmings and household use. I'm hoping it's good for fabric, so yes. Oh, it heat bonds fabrics. So it will produce a heat sealed bond if you put it between two fabrics and iron it. I'm not going to do that today. I'm just going to use air. And you can't wash them and you can't dry clean them, so don't use it if you're going to be washing them. So here we go. What I'm going to do is just open this and put some in my packet. Oh, that's better. It was a lot easier just to snip the top off. Now the tutorial I followed said just do it one side at a time. But because my purse is so small, I'm actually going to attempt to do both. This could be a mistake. So what I'm doing is just putting some of the glue inside the clasp. Now I'm not sure how fast drying this one is, but with normal fabric glue and tacky glue, you sort of put it on and then you give it a few minutes to go tacky, don't you? I'm getting it everywhere. I'm going to have to wipe that up. So I'm going to put a thin layer on the inside, and then I'm going to coat the edge of the purse as well, just so there's some on both surfaces. And I've got a little bit on the frame, so I'm just going to wipe that off. Okay, let's wipe that up before I end up with a mess that I can't deal with. Right then, so we'll put those on there. Top tip, always protect your work surface. Right, so I'm just going to pop a little bit on here. I'm putting plenty on the inside here because we put the paper tape up on the inside to sort of wedge it, and that'll be good if the paper tape then seals itself to the top of the fabric. Wonder whether it might be useful to maybe just add a few stitches around it while it's drying. Don't know, we'll see. So I'm just applying the glue where I've top stitched it, so I'm not getting lots and lots on the bag itself. It's literally just a little channel. Okay, so we'll leave that until it goes tacky just for a moment. We've got some glue now that's settling. I've managed to get it everywhere again. Right, so what I need to do is cut my paper tape so it's the right size. So it's lucky I had some of this in. My sister, I think, got it me from IKEA years ago. It's literally years old. And I have some red and I have some dark green. So I think she got it on clearance at Christmas. There we go, so that should be fine. Right, is that not quite tacky yet? So I'll give it another moment. Meanwhile, I don't have a stopper for this, so I've just cut the end off my skewer. I'm just going to ram that in the end and hope that stops it drying out. So I can feel it's starting to get a little bit tacky now. There's no instruction on it to say leave it for a certain amount of time, so I'm just going to go ahead now and pop the tops in. This could take some fiddling, and I'm probably going to get it all over my fingers, which you know I don't like. So I'm just going to shove the fabric up into the channel. So on the first side, I'm going to just push it in. Now this clasp I don't think is quite big enough, like I said before. And when it's in there, what we have to do then is take some of this string and just push that up into the channel, and then that hopefully, oops, no, I think I've cut my string too long. Maybe it's because it's not going all the way up. Oh, it's definitely too long. I'm actually going to take a little bit off that. Find my scissors. Okay, let's start again. This is fiddly. So on side 2, just stuffing in that paper twine. I'm not sure about the paper twine, to be honest. I'm not sure how well that's working. Maybe my paper twine's not thick enough. But we're stuffing that in there anyway. And then the next stage, let's hope this dries well. Just shoving that in there. The next stage will be to pinch the edges with the pliers. So I'm going to let that dry and then I'll come and do that. So it is in there. I can hand on heart say it was a lot easier to sew, but it is in there. So the next step will be once it's completely dry. So the lady said about 15 minutes. So I'm trying to give it 15 minutes, not fiddle with it too much. Then I've got to pinch it with the pliers. I'm ready for the pliers, so it was suggested to use a little bit of batting to stop the pliers from scratching the metal, so that's what I'm going to do. So I'll pop I'm supposed to squeeze each end there and then there. I'm not sure whether it could do with a squeeze in the middle as well, to be honest, so we shall see. So I'm going to pop my batting over there and my pliers, and let's just make sure. Yes. I'll give it a bit of a squeeze. Oh yes, I have squeezed that, haven't I? Oh, well, now I can see the paper tape coming out, so that's good. Not. And then we're going to go in. And just to make it even, just make sure that my paper tape is where it's supposed to be. And the last one. Like that. Okay, so will that still close? Yes, it will. So that's really good. And that's not too bad, is it? Oh, it's literally just come out. So it just came out again. Clearly, I had not let the glue dry enough. But I'm actually thinking now, it might be better to pinch the top as well. I hope that doesn't make it look awful, but I think that's going to be the only way to keep it all in, because it seems like such a large channel that the fabric's just not staying in there. That could be my fault because I've measured incorrectly and I didn't realise these bag clasps were smaller. So I'll give it a little bit longer, I think, to dry. So it has taken there, but I'm thinking I might actually just squeeze it at the top, and if I ruin it, then I'll probably just have to take it off and do something else. So last attempt at making this better is to squish the entire frame. Which, to be fair, may have worked. So I'm going to try opening and closing it a few times and making sure that it's definitely stuck fast. But I think that might be the key, and it doesn't actually look too bad because I've tried to do it evenly across, although it's slightly bumpy on that side. So it has worked, and actually it looks fine, and it's going to be fine anyway, because it's just as an alternative to using a gift card in order to be able to give somebody some money. You can't open it one-handed, but I've opened and closed it and it seems absolutely fine. I don't think what I did was the way you're supposed to use them, so I'd take that with a grain of salt. Follow the instructions if you have any of these in the future. I think the frame is slightly warped as a result of me pinching it, so just bear that in mind. And I just think, lesson learned here: 1, always measure completely. 2, always make sure you check for holes, because if you're more comfortable sewing, then you want to go for the ones that you sew in. And 3, always follow the instructions. So for my templates, I'm thinking at least a 3.5 inch bag frame, and I'll be getting some on the internet to try those with it. And well, that's it for now anyway. At least it worked. It does open and close, and it'll be great for putting some cash in for somebody. I don't expect it to be actually used as a purse. Like I say, really, it was just a way of delivering some money to somebody. So it's, you know, nothing lost really. It was a bit of time I was able to show you in a video, and it meant I got to design a couple of cute little bunnies. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing my disastrous attempt, and hopefully it will help you, because it means you won't make the mistakes that I have made putting a glue-on bag clasp. And don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.